October 5th, 2001, rolling down the street of Napoli. Nowhere to go, nowhere to be seen, nowhere to be found. People told me that it was scary, it was dark, and I believed them, but I had no choice. There is a wind coming along, something really scary to be found in the middle of it without protection. It's just like it's a golden wind. Oh well, I have nothing to say or nothing to do. I will keep going through the darkness of this city until everything is over. I travel a lot. Started from England 100 years ago. Then I even go to New York, Egypt, and my last destination before here was Japan. Now I'm finally back in my roots. It took a while, but here I am. Italy, 2001. There is still a lot of traveling to do after this. We have the US to travel. We have the original American. And then we have the crazy Japanese. But on top of all of that, we have what we have right now. Vento Oreo is here.
Oh my god! This might just be the best thing I ever seen in my life.
Okay, so I'm recording this after finishing watching the episode, and honestly, this is one, if not the best day I ever had, like this year, the past few years. And I'm not saying just because of this episode alone, but the build-up is what makes this day special. Before we actually start talking about the episode, I'm just gonna play this.
Giorno Giovanna!
JoJo's Bizarre Adventures Part 5 Golden Wind. This is one of the highest critically acclaimed part of JoJo up to date, and it is the most popular part in Japan. I dislike doing episode reviews. I don't know, it never was my thing and I think it's just lame. But this isn't technically an episode review for episode 1 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventures Part 5 Golden Wind, aka Vento Oreo. It's more of a video that I will just make talking about what I liked about the episode and everything like in between. And I will make sure that I won't title like a review or stuff because I don't really care about the views. It's more just showing how much I enjoy this anime. And believe me, I did enjoy this anime. Well, this episode was really interesting. I'm not gonna lie, I already saw the episode, like quote unquote saw from the leak that was at Anime Expo, but not really saw it. This was the actual experience. It's a JoJo's reference, never mind. This episode as itself, it was really well handled. I think everything starting from the animations, which are a key factor of defining JoJo at this point, because to the newcomers or to the people that never watched JoJo, the animation, the art and stuff like that is one of the defining aspects of JoJo as a franchise. So the animation for this episode was something that I didn't necessarily expect, but I didn't necessarily expect to be this good either, because it's just out of everything we have seen so far. Not just in the terms of different, but in the terms of amazing as well. The thing about the animation is that it's kinda, for me at least, I see it, a mix between part 4 and part 3. Part 3 had this like vibe to it that was something like different, and part 4 was just out of ordinary because it fits the part and the theme of part 4. For part 5 I was really confused what they're gonna do with the animation, because it's such a thing that can't just really be think of and be like, oh yeah, they're gonna do this. But honestly, if you saw the episode, you know what I mean. This slightly bit of like shading and like the shadows behind like Giorno's face when he turns, it's just like, wow, I didn't expect this. Then the best aspect about the animation for episode 1 was easily the movement of the characters. If you are a big fan of part 4, by a big fan I mean like rewatch the anime more than once, I honestly will say that you can see characters just standing there. That's not a bad thing because that's part 4, but in this episode everything was moving. When Giorno was standing, something was moving. Like it was such like it's not just easy to describe in words, but this was one of the best things about this episode. And let's talk about the background, like the city itself. Like, oh my god, it looks like something that David Production like really spent time time and detail on. Every single color I saw, I like it as much and if more than the manga. I have no complaints so far in terms of the colors, even though JoJo has no canon colors in terms of canon, but sometimes a character or two can get kind of mixy because they get like different colors that you think that it doesn't fit their characters, but so far it's just amazing. And I just want to say, Jotaro looks fabulous. Like, Jotaro in part 5 so far is easily best Jotaro. And I also, this might be quite controversial to some of you, but I like part 5's take on Koichi design more than part 4 itself. And that might be controversial, but it's just my opinion. Then let's go talk about the episode itself. I don't know what's your expectation for this review, because honestly I can't talk about the content shown in the episode because it's an adaptation of the manga. And I can be here saying that I never read the manga, but that's a lie. I have read the manga, and more than one time. I reread it like a while ago. But the point I'm trying to make is that this kind of reviews will go away when I talk about the episode as a one-on-one adaptation to the manga. I won't reference anything for future stuff, never. So if you watch the episode for the first time and you're a first time comer to the channel and to the JoJo part 5 like anime, you will know what I talk and what I talk about as you follow the anime itself. So no spoilers ahead. Like, I won't just drop here the main villain's name like out of nowhere, or I can just, no, I won't, I promise I won't. So this was covering the 4 first chapters of the manga, and it's confirmed that JoJo part 5 will have 39 episodes, which is following the part 4 train, which also is what I expected to do, because when I made a list of expectations for as a video, I said that I want to be following the part 4 theme. That means like 39 to 40 something episodes instead of having the 2-season theme, and that's amazing. So they're gonna cover 4 chapters per episode. Also, in addition to that, this episode was about the introduction of Vento Reo as an part. So we go back far from the first characters. We see that is Koichi, and we see Giorno. In fact, that is kind of different here. For everyone who reads the manga knows this, but I'm completely saying that it's completely different. Don't get me wrong, when I say a new scenes, I don't mean that they just recount the entire manga and they just completely change, because there is a lot of misconception between manga only readers and anime only watchers. There are literally people who never watch the anime. They think that reading the manga is better just because they skip scenes or something like that, which is not only the case, because JoJo has one of the most faithful adaptations to an anime ever. I think it's top there with some other titles, but I will honestly say that this change is nowhere to be a bad one. So basically what they do, they change the order of things. So instead of straight up going to something, they do it in a different way, and they do it in a more of an approachable way, a more of an introduction to Giorno than an introduction to the story, which you will see what I mean when episode 2 comes along. So this episode basically played the purpose of introducing the main character, the main JoJo, the main Gio part 5, Giorno Giovanna. Something that I will say right here, it's been a while since I've reread the first chapters of Vento Reo, but for what I can remember, and maybe it's just the hype, but I doubt it's the hype, because if you watch the episode you totally know what I mean, but Luca looks way better in the anime, not just in terms of his introduction and what he does, because that's not changed in any way possible, but I mean the way that they interact is way more approachable from the anime, which makes Giorno look a way better character, because from the manga he might just seem like a normal guy who doesn't react to anything, but in the anime he honestly looks like an amazing JoJo from the first episode. Like, he has one if not the best introduction of a JoJo so far, anime wise. Okay, going on from that topic, I will just talk about the ending scenes of the episode, because we talked about Jotaro, we talked about Koichi versus Giorno. It's not really a fight, so I don't really need to talk about it, but yeah, Koichi's stand and Koichi itself looks amazing. I actually like the aura around the characters when they activate their stands. That also looks better in my opinion. Let's talk about the final stuff. Bruno Bucciolati is an amazing character. Keep an eye on him. If you're an anime only, keep 2 eyes open, because he is what I call an amazing second character, a Joe Bro. Not saying that he's better than Gyro, but I will say that he is top there. The best Joe Bro was Gyro. I mean, Gyro is kind of different than a Joe Bro itself, but you get what I mean. That's basically what happened in this episode. I know I can talk more about the final encounter and the lick thing, and a lot of people are complaining that there are manga readers and the lick was like way like less than it was supposed to be, and that's basically for those kind of people that are like, oh, this looks gay and stuff. So yeah, they just made that not the approachable thing, but still really a big reference to the manga read, so it makes sense. This was basically it for this podcast type stuff. I don't know what to call it. I know I'm just gonna put some pictures for this one, but every single one I review like episode wise is gonna be different. I'm not gonna review every single episode, obviously. I'm just gonna do it like the episodes that are interesting to me, or when an arc ends I'm gonna review that. You will see what I will do, but I promise I won't review every episode. I will just review the good stuff. I mean, all of it is good, but the good stuff in the terms of good stuff, when I say good stuff, is like, instead of reviewing like the fight part 1, the fight part 2, the fight part 3, instead I will just review the entire thing in one go. So you will see what I will do. That's basically it. I hope you enjoy. Subscribe, like. Adinplore is signing out. That was a good review for an unscripted discussion about an episode, right? I mean, I took notes and stuff, but that's about it up. Yeah, have a nice one.
We go back, we relax, and tie in the back. On the low, counting racks, I run in the pack. They show Joe, she don't know, I don't love him back. Oh no, no, what are those? Those ins in my lap. We go back.